Well, hello. Welcome back to Survival Saturday on February 20, 2021. Actually, it's February 20. I'm pretty sure it is February 20, but let's confirm that. Alexa, what's the date today?
Today is Saturday, February 20th.
Thank you.
Anytime Tiger. Enjoy your afternoon.
See, I was right. Okay. So right off the bat, you guys probably see that the camera angle is really, really weird. Because the camera is up really high today. Because I needed to capture what I am going to show you guys near the end of this video. We're going to do a little demonstration to illustrate what I'm going to be talking to you about. But until then, uh, I hope everyone can see me, or I'm sure you can see me. I'm sure you can see the top of my head. You can probably see my face from here, but I'm not quite sure how much more you can see beyond that. So, personal space. This day and age, we hear people talk about respecting each other's personal space all the time. Now ask yourself, why is that? Why is it such a big deal to respect each other's personal space? The most obvious answer is that when our private space, when our personal space get invaded, get violated, we feel uncomfortable. Okay, that's a biological response. It triggers something in our head. It triggers something in our body. It makes us tense up. It makes us squirm. It makes us feel uncomfortable when someone is in our face. It's too close. It's crowding us. When I was growing up, I was deathly scared of cockroaches. Now this sounds totally stupid because they're so small. There's nothing to I should be fearing from them. But I was scared of them because of one thing that cockroaches like to do. I don't know how many of you here in North America you probably never encountered this before. But if you come from an Asian country, I'm pretty sure you have run into this issue. Let's say it's the middle of the night. You get up and you feel like you need to go relieve yourself. So you walk into the bathroom and turn on the light. And then you look down, or if you're like me, I didn't look down, but I could hear scuttling noises all over the floor. The whole floor covered with cockroaches, large and small. Big ones about the size of my thumb, a small one barely the size of the nail on my pinky finger. And a lot of these cockroaches were the flying variety. They could actually fly. Uh, and one thing that they would do, which never made sense to me, is that rather than running away from people, a, a person, a thing, hundreds of times bigger than you are, coming into your territory, turn on the light. But rather than running beneath the counter, running down into the drain, some of these cockroaches will spread their wings and fly right at your face. It's scary. It's creepy as heck. And unless you are extremely disciplined, unless you're extremely brave, or you just didn't see it coming, almost anybody, almost anybody will turn and run away when something is coming at their face at high speed, no matter how big or how small that thing is. That is a good example of what is programmed into our psyche that fight or flight instinct we all talk about. Well, in the case of something coming at us super fast into our personal space directly for us, it's all flight instinct. Okay? You're not going to be thinking about fighting after you get out of the way. For most people, it's a very quick, very immediate reaction. Someone coming super fast at your face, you will go ah, and you run away. Okay? Sometimes you don't even know what it is. You didn't even see what it was. So why are we talking about this? Because this is the kind of psychological conditioning that we can learn to reverse engineer to our advantage in a self-defense, in a survival, in a fight situation. A lot of professional fighters, UFC fighters, have learned to use this trick before. If you watch fights, you might have even seen it, especially strikers. Some of them, when they're fighting, they will extend their forward hand way into the other person's personal space. They'll keep hovering one fist in front of the other person's face. They're not hitting them with this fist, but this hand is always there, hovering in front of the other person. And if they keep this up, you will see an interesting phenomenon if you pay attention to what the other person doing. Rather than going for the opponent's head, rather than punching to the body, rather than going for the kidney, rather than going for the liver, gradually, more and more, this other person starts swatting at that hand that is hovering in front of their face, trying to get that arm, that hand out of their personal space. And that's when they start to mess up. That's when that knockout punch is not far behind. Because now they are so concerned with this arm, this hand that is hovering in front of them. They're not thinking about blocking other part of their body. It's a very neat little trick that we can learn to use all the time. In fact, I use that quite often. When I'm sparring with people, sometimes I will stick my jab hand way forward and keep going into their space just in front of their nose. So if they try to come forward, I'm already in their space. If they try to hit me, I can just shove them back. Okay? Just by placing a part of your body in someone's personal space, even in a situation where you're fighting, where the other person should be concentrating on hitting you, will trigger that mental response. Hey, there's something in front of my face. I want to get rid of it. It makes me really uncomfortable. I need to get rid of it and get rid of it now. Okay? So that is one example of what we're talking about today. How to utilize this conditioned in psyche, the psychology, it's a fight psychology. How to use this to your advantage. In the recent years, a lot of Chinese hoodlums, gangsters, people who don't really necessarily train, but they know how to fight from various street scuffles. They talk about this new technique for street fighting called Wang Baqian. Wang Baqian means uh, fist of the snapping turtle, if you do a direct translation. Or more accurately, uh, it's called the fist of the insane, fist of the crazy. And how is Wang Baqian utilized? It doesn't need a lot of training. You don't need a lot of technique. You don't need to know how to box or anything. People who fight using this particular street fighting tactic, they do one thing. Well, they focus on two things only. One, move forward as fast as long as you can. Second, throw out as many punches focused on the other person's face as you can. So it look a little bit like what you see on Wing Chun, Chinese Kung Fu, the kind of quick punching. Except in Wangbachen, they don't worry about keeping their elbow down. They don't worry about the circular motion. They don't worry about the footwork. It's basically running forward and boom, 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 at the face. That's all they do. Okay, and this has proven to be highly, highly effective, even against people who are supposedly trained in the dojo or in different kind of fighting. Why is it so effective? Because they again, their whole goal is coming at you fast, hard, targeting your face, triggering that runaway instinct. So you are thinking about getting out of their way rather than hitting them back. So all they have to do is keep this up. And if they swing at you hard enough and long enough and as many punches as they can, eventually a few of those is going to connect. So in other words, people who practice this Wangbaqian fighting tactic, all they need to do is do enough exercise to guarantee they have good uh, cardio. They can keep this up for a while, and that they have good pain tolerance. So if you hit them back, they can ignore you and just keep coming at your face with their fist. Okay? Crazy, I know, stupid, definitely. It looked ridiculous, but it's so effective that it allowed these gangsters and hoodlums to dominate even much better trained fighters on the street just by exploiting the other person's personal space and sense of having that personal space violated. Now, I want to, I'll even say this. If someone unexpectedly suddenly come at me with a fist flailing at my face at super high speed. Even someone who, like me, had been training fighting for almost 30 years, I don't even know if I'll be able to stand my ground and deal with that without fumbling and trying to step out of the way. It's really hard. I had people try that on me before, and it's really, really hard. Um, so yeah, it's a silly looking way to fight, but it's highly effective. Now, you definitely don't want to do this all the time because if people expect you to do that, then it's easy for them to deal with you. All they have to do is stay out of your reach and you'll run out of energy eventually. So there has to be a surprise element, an element of surprise for this to work. Uh, for example, if I know the minute I open this door, a cockroach will be coming at my face at high speed, okay? Then it wouldn't be so scary. I open the door, it come at me, smack, and it's dead, right? No problem. It is when you don't know it's coming that is going to be effective. So if you want to use this kind of tactic in a fight, in a self-defense situation, to give you that little bit of advantage by invading someone's personal space, by rushing into them to mess them up, to make them stagger back, to make them run away. It will only work if you can surprise them. Okay, so don't let it be your only technique in self-defense, but it is definitely very effective tool to understand how to manipulate the other person's sense of personal space. So far we are talking about personal space and in relation to survival and self-defense in a purely psychological um, connotation. But it is not only psychological, there is a physical, there's a very physical advantage as well. And this is why we have the camera so weird today. Because I don't have anyone here to throw punches at me. So I'm going to give you guys the next best thing. we're going to illustrate with this cupboard, this kitchen cupboard. Okay. If if I go by what most traditional martial arts teach me, when someone swing a punch, you put your arm here to block. When someone comes down from above, you snap your arm up to block. Okay? If I do that, okay, watch what's going to happen. Cover door, let's say this is a person's attack coming at me. It's coming, and I put my hand up to block. Ow! That actually hurt. I mean, did it stop the attack? Yeah, but it kind of hurts, you know. So it's effective. I'm not going to stand here and say all the traditional blocks are not effective because it did stop the attack, but it's not the most practical. Right? The most practical is, well, get out of the way. Obviously, the best way to deal with an attack is don't be there when it happens. But okay, let's say you can't get out of the way. It's coming. Okay, this guy's cornered you and it's swinging at your face. Okay, rather than waiting for the swing to come out and then snap your arm into that cool karate block, ooh, ooh, ow, and hoping that your block is stronger than his punch, because that is a big factor too. If the person throw a 400-pound punch and your block is only 100 pounds, it's going to blast right through your block. Your hand is going to come back and hit yourself in the face, and then their fist is going to hit you in the face. Okay. So rather than standing here waiting for this to come out, I'm going to place my hand right in this person's personal spot. I'm going to put my hand only a few inches from where the punch, the swing, originates from. And so rather than the door swing open and boom, hit my hand like this, which kind of hurts, if I stick my hand way forward in front of the door when it's going to open, can't open, can't open, can't open, doesn't hurt. It doesn't matter how hard you open this door, it's not going to hurt my hand because it doesn't build up enough momentum. And this is what I'm talking about, the physical advantage of invading someone's space, violating someone's personal space, because you don't allow them to build up any kind of forward momentum. And this will take a lot of stress out of yourself. Okay? If someone's going to swing a kick at me and I know it's coming, I'm going to place my leg right in front of their leg so that kick has no way to swing out. If I know someone's going to throw a punch at me, I'm going to put my hand just in front of their fist or their bicep so they can't get that arm to straighten out, right? Something so simple like this. We talked about this before. It's like throwing a monkey wrench into the working of a machinery. Okay? All it takes is one finger, two finger, or a hand in the right place at the right time, and that attack will not be able to come out. Now, I'm going to take this chance to warn you guys that when this happens, what we see a lot is two people fighting. One person successfully invaded the space of the other person and got the hand in place, and the other person is swinging and just it's not working, and this person who's successfully defending themselves will stay there and they'll say, yeah, yeah, hit me, hit me. What happened? You can't hit me. Okay? Don't do that, right? In sparring, in fun, it's fun. But if you're ever in a survival situation, don't play around. You know? When your technique work, move on to do something else, finish it, and get out of there. Don't stay there and play with the person because what's going to happen is after a couple of seconds, the person is going to realize all they have to do is kick you in the groin. Okay? So yeah, uh, people people are not usually are not stupid or dumb, so don't assume they are. In a fight, always assume they're smarter than you are. In a fight, always assume they're bigger than you are. In a fight, always assume that they're better trained than you are. In a fight, always assume that they have friends or weapons. When you assume that they have all the advantages, then you will not be surprised when they do have those advantages. It's when you think that you are going to win, and it hurts even more when you end up losing. Thank you for checking out today's Survival Saturday. We'll be back again tomorrow for Soul Search Sunday. For now, have a good day.